Hey, what's up? It's your boy MNKIZZLE. Welcome to another episode, and we got the beautiful Tori Rogers in the building.
Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up?
Founder of the Ebony Expats group right here in Southeast Asia. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're trying to give tips to musicians, artists, and professionals all across the world. So let's get straight into it, right?
Right.
We have the beautiful Tori Rogers. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
So, I'm from Houston. I'm living in Bangkok. Right, H-Town. You
H-Town.
already know. Listen, I've been living in Bangkok for 3 years now, which
Right.
is like crazy. Actually, it's like a little bit over 3 years, and it's so insane.
Time flies, huh?
Time flies really crazy.
I mean, you've been through a lot since you came to Bangkok, right?
I've been through a whole lot. It's crazy, but it's beautiful. So I'm from Houston. My background is in marketing, PR, before I came here. I'm a big sister, and I say that because I feel like when I look back at life and I just kind of like started connecting my own dots, like over the summer during quarantine, like thank you COVID. So like I remember my parents sitting down and telling me that I was going to be a big sister, and I think I told you this before. It's like that really has been sticking with me lately because
It's a life changer.
it's life changing when you think about that. When you think about like we were like so happy to have an addition to the family.
Exactly.
You know, and like I immediately became like excited, ready.
That's
know?
a beautiful thing. You're gonna be
different.
taking care of a little sister. You're gonna have a new member of the family.
Exactly.
The love goes on and on, man.
Exactly.
Over here in Bangkok, you've also created a family, a big family now that goes by the name of the Ebony Expats,
Right.
of course. And that's how we actually met. I mean, I popped up at this event and I saw these beautiful people full of melanin.
Ooh.
And I thought it was just like the most incredible thing to see so many beautiful black people so far away from my home, at least. I would like to go through the keys with you to understand how did you manage to create such a solid network halfway across the world. Major key number one, how to connect.
Numero uno.
Exactly.
And then Thai. No.
You get in there.
Come on, good luck, language. So number one is honestly like be yourself.
Right.
And I think like when I look back in my life, like I've always just been who I am, like,
Right.
and there's so much stuff that comes at us, and it's
I
like
can imagine.
it's actually hard to really be yourself.
It's hard nowadays, especially with the influence of social media and YouTube
Yes.
and everything else. We always try to aspire to be what we're not.
Exactly.
When we're so bombarded with all
Yeah.
this information
Yeah.
and trending and stuff like that.
And society and all that.
When you say you have to be yourself, it's actually something that's not so easy anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
So,
challenging.
I agree. So what I would say is give yourself the space to explore that.
Right.
And so when I look back at my life, I've always, if I feel a certain way, if I'm interested in something, I'm going to explore it. So when I went to school in college, I started off as a psych major. So I was learning psychology. I learned how the brain worked. I was so intrigued by that.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, now I kind of know how people think.
Right.
What can I actually like? How can I actually kind of compound on that? Like, what can I do with the fact that I know how people think and like how our brains work? And I took a communications course, and I was like, ooh, and I was like, okay, so business. And then I changed my major.
And that's where you put two and two together,
Exactly.
right? The consumer behavior and the business part. Well, that's what you call marketing.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's how you got into marketing, right?
Exactly. I just like communicating, and I like being able to. Real marketing is about giving a message in a way that it resonates with the person.
Right.
And I think naturally, like I try to connect with people and like be you. I want people to be who they are. Come to the table as your damn self, because I'm trying to step to the table as myself. And so when you come to things already like that, it creates like genuine messaging and genuine vibes.
And that
connection.
it's exactly that authenticity that you need to harness from an early age.
I am who I am. Like it don't matter where I go. Like you gonna get Tori when you walk in the door. Like
the package.
Yeah, like you get like what you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. I like that sentence. Where would you start if you have to reach out to the world right now and you have zero contacts? Where would you begin?
Yeah, so the way I kind of went about this is when I moved to Thailand, I was like, I don't know anybody. I don't speak this language. It's like cultural differences. Like I'm on the other side of the world.
Right.
At this point, I had gotten a teaching job, and I said, okay, let me, number one, tap into that network. What I did is I said, hey, I'm moving over here. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I want to meet people who have done this process and they're also currently doing it. So I actually told the education company, like, hey, I'm going to start a Facebook group, and this is going to kind of help you retain people who are as nervous as I am about coming. So it's like I tapped into this network that was kind of already there.
So you contacted people that you already knew. Basically.
Exactly. And then the other thing is like go online, you know, social media,
online.
LinkedIn, it's listen.
Social media plays a big role in networking nowadays.
Exactly.
It's undeniably the biggest tool right now. Some people don't use it that way though. They use it for the booty calls, they use it for the DMs, they use it for a lot of things, right?
That's also connecting. That's the kind of connections you out here trying to get. You know what I'm saying? But I am actually out here trying to connect and like meet people. So even like before I came, I found like this plus size group on Instagram, and I just kind of kept nurturing that group as well.
You managed to reach out to some people, but how do you make it grow? Because if I understand correctly, Ebony Expats has more than 1,000 people already now. And so it's incredible.
When I decided that I was going to move to Thailand, which basically was another way of me saying like, America was not giving me the space I needed to be myself. So I decided I was going to move overseas. Asia is somewhere I always wanted to live at, to be able to understand like business here, culture here, all that. And then I was like, okay, I just need 3 black friends. like literally I was like, I would need at least 3 black friends that like I can resonate with, kick it with, reach out to if I have questions. I'm not really thinking that there's like a lot of black people who live overseas. There's a lot of us out there, like
a lot,
thousands. I started looking for groups online, and I started like reaching out to little Facebook groups or meetup groups, but no one was really active. So I just created a meetup group sitting in my apartment in Houston. So that's how the actual thing started. I created a meetup group, and then when I got here, like a month later, I actually hosted a meetup. Basically, I was in a place of like learning Bangkok, learning myself. I was really intrigued by these expats who have been living overseas for like 10 years, 5 years. I was like, what? You know, like I'm literally looking around at Bangkok, like I cannot believe I'm here.
Right.
And I'm like, I was so inspired and also really excited to keep on like learning.
Keep on learning.
Exactly.
And that goes on with keep on meeting new people and so forth, right?
Exactly. And so that just continued to be something very consistent where we kept meeting up for different things, and then I just then we created a chat group. And I became this like person who, if someone asked a question, even if I didn't know the answer, I would either like Google it or tag the person who knew the answer based on the fact that I knew that they had been living here, or like I know that they know certain things.
In that situation, you're not only a connector, but you're also a person of interest. That must be a little bit nerve-wracking as a person to just go in such a unknown territory and start to spark up such a thing. So how do you go about that?
So I think there's like different things that kind of come up for that. Is like, number one, learn to shoot your shot and be okay with shooting your shot. And like, I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, we got a problem in here.
Like, for real.
We got a problem.
Like, I am like a fire sign all the way. So like, I'm a Sagittarius, like moon and fire, moon and sun.
Right.
But it really means that like I have like all this fire, and like I don't mind shooting my shot. Like I am very much so a person who is like, I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm gonna like put myself out there. I'm going to start an event. I'm going to make that post. I'm going to write.
You're gonna make it happen.
I'm gonna make it happen. Like I'm about making shit happen. Like if you want to do something, do it. And you got time to be thinking about stuff.
Talk to me about how you managed to pop up in a Spike Lee movie. Because you did that too, right?
Yes. You know what? Like even saying that, that's just so crazy to me. But it's like that's the ROI
How did that happen?
Relationship building. So I moved here in 2017. And then I became like this connector, right? I became like the person who was like bringing all the Black people together. We were always having networking events or social events or like what's going on this weekend. I was just like typing what was going on, even if I was going to go out. Like, here's what's going on. Go do XYZ. Here's where to get your hair done. All these different things. And so then I became known as like the community leader, you know? And that's the good thing about networking is like when you're the host of the party, whether that's you hosting events, whether that's you being the one who's starting a podcast, like you're the one who's like connecting the dots. And so you become like the leader in the way of that group. And so because of that, when Spike Lee basically filmed a movie in Thailand and Vietnam last year, and so I was contacted like, yo,
so by being the leader, you're telling me that information comes to you as well. Opportunity comes from your network.
Like, you know, at this point, I'm just being me. I'm just flowing. I think I probably had already had the name Ebony Expats, but it wasn't like, I hadn't actually like made it an LLC, none of that stuff. I was still just like, you know, connecting. And when that came, I was like, well, damn, we gotta show up.
We gotta show up.
Like,
and so you did. And so you did.
We did. You know, so I basically
Where was it? Was it in Bangkok or Chiang Mai? It was in Chiang Mai.
Yeah, so then I had to say, like in the group, nobody post any messages. I got some shit to say. I was like, don't post nothing. And like, it was just like, don't post anything right now because I wanted people to be able to like understand, like, this is major. Spike Lee is in town. He's filming a movie. He's looking for Black people. And there is like a casting party.
Casting party.
Yeah, and so it was like a meet and greet. We all got to meet him. But see, what I was doing, I was chilling and stuff, and I was like, I was taking it all in because it's like
chill.
Yo, we going to see Spike Lee. And then one of the people who I'm connected with that was living in Bangkok at the time and who had actually kind of like started helping me with the events in a way. When this all started going down, she recalled a whole experience where she had actually met Spike Lee like way prior in Italy, like 10 years prior. I'm like, them dice, like that shit is not.
That's the definition right there.
Exactly. So when I get to the thing, I'm still not really knowing like what I'm gonna do. Because, you know, sometimes when you walk into rooms, you don't necessarily know what can really happen.
Never.
It's just like, go, experience, take it all in. I pray with my mama on the phone and stuff, you know? And so when I got there, basically to bring it all, is like, I'm just watching the room, you know? So I identified like the producers and the people who were like doing the paperwork behind the scenes.
That's kind of a key point that we mentioned in the previous video. You came into that environment, you identified the key players.
I shot my shot.
You shot your shot, basically.
And I was like, yo, I'm Tori. I have a community in da-da-da-da. If you looking for old people, young people, whatever you need, I got you. This is what we do. Here's my contact. Boom. And then I reached out. I literally reached out, and that's how that happened. So then they needed certain roles that I had to actually fulfill. So I actually had to get people's photos and their information and like do all the coordinating with the actual casting team.
You managed to bring in people from your network into that opportunity with you as well.
I was like, look at Adrian in this damn movie. I was like, Adrian is in this movie. Like, that is so funny to me.
You guys must have been proud, huh?
So fucking proud. Like, it just was like even still thinking about that, I'm just like, yeah, like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
That's great to hear, man. It sounds to me like you're walking a lot by faith, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Like I probably if you look at how I live, I definitely live like I'm very okay with taking risks. I'm very okay with putting myself out there. I didn't really realize how much of that I do. Until like I've been analyzing my life.
Until you
I've been like,
look back and realize what you were doing.
I just be jumping straight out there like I don't care because it's like, what I'm gonna lose?
Exactly, you have nothing to lose.
Not a damn thing. All I can do is gain and learn. All that.
Grow. You learn from your mistakes. You understand exactly that there's more to gain out there from experiences than there are from fare. From what I understand, you managed to nurture your network. You managed to bring value to the table, and they also feed you with that same amount of energy and that same amount of opportunity.
Right.
But how would you create that? How would you manage to reproduce those type of successful events?
Yeah. So what I think it really comes down to is looking at your network and connecting the dots. I look at who I know, and for the most part, we all kind of categorize people in our life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you categorize these people, you know who they are, you know what they bring to the table.
You know what they do, you know what job they do, and you know what position they hold in that network.
Exactly. And honestly, everybody that's in my network should be bringing some sort of value. That allows me to be able to just boom, 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 categorize, file stuff away. And so if I meet a person who is like for example, you know, like you are an artist.
Yeah.
And then
I'm an artist, rapper, but I love to do interviews too.
Right, but you're an artist, and it's like, I'm not an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been thinking about this lately because I'm stepping into this new version of myself, right? I came here because I wanted 3 Black friends. I wanted to create a network. I did that. Boom, let's
and
go.
Look how far you came.
Let's go, you know what I'm saying? But my true goals and who I am as a person is like, I'm a communicator. I'm a connector. I want to be in entertainment. I've always wanted to be in media. My background is in marketing and PR. I've done all that stuff. I've worked at a radio station. You know, different things like that.
Exactly.
And so it's like, now I'm like, okay, well, boom. Like,
now it's about putting all of this knowledge into practice.
Which means that like now there's so many entertainers here that I know. Okay, I do events. I don't entertain. Like, I'm not gonna get up on stage and rap, but I'm gonna be putting the best rappers and the best singers on stage because I have an audience that wants to be entertained.
Right.
I like entertainment as well. I want to do that. If I'm creating events, I'm creating spaces where people can connect and people can be entertained. And that's value to people.
It's an ongoing process, right?
Honestly, it's just like, you have to be vulnerable. Like, you have to
put
be
yourself out there.
Exactly. Every time I do an event, I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if they're gonna like this. I'm like, I don't know.
You never know the outcome.
I never know.
You don't know how many people will show up.
Creative.
You don't know how many tickets you will sell, but you have to push.
Exactly.
I
literally have no idea. And I will say that it has gotten a little harder for me now to be as vulnerable as I used to be, just because like what ends up happening is the overthinking, the comments, the da-da-da-da. And it's like, stop. Sometimes we identify these older versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's always about learning, testing, and then continuing to be vulnerable.
And growing.
Exactly.
But you don't want to keep making the same mistakes, right? You want to actually evolve from those situations. It's important that you gain some type of lesson out of every experience, because if you keep making the same mistakes, that means you haven't learned what you were supposed to learn.
Right.
Now that you've got 3 years in the game, okay, you're rolling strong, you're a rolling stone, what can we expect from Ebony Expats in the near future?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think as I kind of step into this new chapter, and my desire honestly is to just touch more people, reach more people. I really feel like what it serves as today is like a resource hub, a space where you can come in here, have safe conversations. You can come in here and have like a place to vibe, a place to connect, and also get your answers. If you have questions about, where should I do this at? What about like visas? What about where should I live at? Where should I get my haircut at? All these different things. And so I want to really create a space where now it can reach more people, it can serve more people, and
the information be easily accessible.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
you so much for having me. I mean, we've been talking about this interview for quite some time, so I'm really happy to share this with you guys today. Thank you guys for looking at this video, man. We out. H down.
You already know.